I have a topic. I saved it. What's a smell that most people think is good, but you think is repulsive?
Lavender.
Oh, somebody said that.
That's crazy. Lavender's great.
I like lavender. It can be a little like chemically, but the one I had, it's not most people, but a lot of people I know in my world think gasoline smells good, but not to me.
It smells fine. Like, and
Smells
I wouldn't light a candle that smelled like gasoline.
They sell them.
Yeah, I don't like it that much. I don't want my house to
The
smell.
higher the
like
octane, the better it smells. Like, it smells good.
Yeah, like race fuel gets like this really sweet kind of smell to it when you get up to like the 106 octane and 110 and all that. Yeah, I like gasoline smell, but that's probably like cultural for me too, because like it reminds me of racing and stuff.
I like the smell of the burnt rubber too, like at the drag strip. That like I pictured it and I smelled it just now. Like I closed my eyes and I pictured that car burning out and like getting ready to go, and it's like, yep, that's gasoline exhaust and like high octane, 110 octane racing fuel, and that burning rubber that has to be cancer causing. It has to be carcinogenic.
It's terrible. I have a candle that actually smells like that when you burn it. The candle looks like a tire and it smells like burning rubber. But yeah, it's got to be terrible. Yeah, some petroleum and all that.
I feel like I've got good taste in smells. Like, you not liking lavender that's a strike against
That's
you.
a granny smell.
No, you're
That's
so
a
wrong.
grandma
Lavender is a relaxing smell. It's
We all
not
think
like,
less of you, Kyle.
yeah, a grandma smell is like
Lavender.
No.
It's potpourri, which is lavender.
Potpourri is an amalgamation of different scents, and lavender.
But lavender wins them all over. Oh yeah. Oh, that rose is so overpowering. No, the lavender is. Lavender is
the
the
only
granny stick. Lavender is the
smell
smell
like
of
Avon
death
perfume
and decay.
Yeah, I okay, fine. Like, it is. No, you can't have this. Lavender's great. It's a great scent. It's a great
Going to the mats.
Yeah, I'll go to the mats over lavender. It's what I have made for myself probably a dozen lavender candles, and I burn them. They smell great. It makes my house relaxing. It's a nice smell. It's not the only smell I like. I also like.
Did you give one to your grandma?
Teakwood, sandalwood. No, my grandma. I did give her a candle, but I think she likes very clean scents, and so I gave her a lemon scented candle that was a little sharper, a little crisper of a smell. The only like common scent in candles that I don't like is those sickly sweet, like vanilla. It smells like a donut house. It's too sweet. It's too much of that.
Love it. Pumpkin pie, fucking candy.
No.
That was right.
This is
apple strudel.
No, I don't want
peach
pie
cobbler.
smell.
I want the whole house to
Cookies.
smell like a dessert bakery.
No,
Yes.
that's trashy.
I'm
Taylor,
right there
you're
with you,
stupid.
Taylor. Like, I love the smell of lavender. If you drive through the south of France in the summertime, like they grow that there as like a major crop, so the air just smells like lavender. It's amazing. It's very calming. I used to have my last office job, like where I worked in a studio with other humans, was like so stressful. There was like a candle shop down the street, and I would go down there about 3 times a week and just smell lavender candles to keep from driving my truck through the front of our office. Sometimes like it was like probably save people's lives. But I'm with you. I'm with the sweet smells. I mean, it's an excellent question. Like the thing you're talking about, like those like fudge shops and brownies and cupcakes and all that bakery smells, like it just smells like diabetes to me. Like I just can't. Yeah. I can't do those sweet smells like that.
I need the sweet smells if it's going to be a meat. Like if I'm in a fudgery and it smells like fudge, that smells great because I'm about to eat fudge. Like it's the association.
I don't want to zoom past the notion that he loves things that smell like cancer but can't stand diabetes.
Yeah, he's a little
silly.
Just different diseases. Yeah.
Pick your poison. Yeah, I just that sweet stuff is just really overpowering. Makes me feel kind of gross. But yeah, some chemical thing just smells like speed.
Pumpkin pie, like all those pie or like fall smelling like sweet treat candles.
My Febreze is watermelon.
I hate those. Oh, watermelon Febreze.
Yeah, I get the watermelon Febreze.
That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
I go over the couch and I'm like, the whole thing smells like that old Bubblicious gum. The whole fucking place.
You're making it sound so much worse. Your house smells like
you
gum.
Act like you don't like these things. Didn't you
I don't
just
like
buy
the
a
smell
whole
of
pound
them.
of fudge?
I don't see why that's here or there. And no, I don't have any fudge remaining. I want a little ham on it. And they're like,
There's no evidence that I at any point owned any fudge.
Yeah, I did. I went when I was in Gatlinburg hiking in the Smokies this past weekend. They had a fudge shop on every corner, like three, not even one every corner, like 3 a block. And so I popped in and I bought fudge at one of them, and I went back out and was walking, and I realized when I passed the next fudgery that I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. I clearly went to an inferior fudgery. This place is great. And so I went in there and I bought more fudge. And then like I ate so much of it that evening at the cabin that like I woke up the next day and I was like, I kind of feel off. Like, what?
Yeah, my blood sugar is 400.
Am I tired from the hike? No, I do more physical activity than that very regularly. What could it be? And I walk out and I see just wax paper strewn about, in some places torn, because in my fury I couldn't unwrap it correctly, ripped it, tore it out.
There are bite marks in the wax paper.
It was fantastic.
Did a grizzly bear eat my fudge?
I ate so much fudge, and so like, dude, but like once every like 8 months or so, usually it lines up on Halloween. Like I will eat a ton of sweets, and then I'll have no sweets at all for like another 6, 8, 10 months. So like now I won't have any sweets until the next time I happen upon a fudgery, more likely than not. Oh, I did go to Buc-ee's, you know, that gas station that people rave about that's huge. Yeah, I went at the worst possible time. I was like on the way home, I was my girlfriend was driving. She took the first shift and I was sleeping, and it was still like so early, like it's like 7 a.m. or something, and she pulled in to get gas, and I didn't know when we were going to be parking next, so I got up to pee, and we're at Buc-ee's, and like I walk in and it's like it's the loudest, brightest gas station I've ever walked through. It's like a mall, and I'm passing, there's like a
Is
middle
this your first
station.
time? I haven't been.
Yeah, it was the first time I've been in a Buc-ee's. It was huge, and there's like I'm like hair messed up, eyes barely awake. I'm in sweatpants and I'm trudging to go pee, and like I'm passing this. There's this booth, not even a booth. There's like a center in the middle of it that's walled off, and it's like a barbecue place. And so as I'm walking by, there's this dude with like a big blade, and there's a big giant brisket in front of him, and he yells, he's like, "Brisket on the board!" Literally, I'm walking by and this guy yells, and I'm like, he startled me.
Brisket on the bone is Taylor's
brisket on the board. He was like, "Brisket on the board," and then he started chopping the brisket up, and everybody around him like echoed it and was like, "Brisket on the board!" And so, it was wild. And so I went to the bathroom, and it doesn't take long to pee, like 2 minutes. Like go in there, pee, wash your hands, come out, and I'm like leaving. And as I'm leaving, he goes, "Brisket on the board," and everyone got "Brisket on the board," and I'm like, how often is this happening? Like every person here is like an Arthur Fleck Joker style story happening. Like, what you take when you get a maladjusted loner yelling "Brisket on the board" 5 hours a day. It was wild. The brisket looked decent, but it was too early.
You didn't get any brisket?
No,
that's crazy.
No.
I thought I knew. I think you've been before.
Full to the brim of fudge. And I just needed to
when we were coming back from the Lozon fight in Boston or whatever, we stopped at one of those, right?
Did we go to a Buc-ee's?
If it wasn't a Buc-ee's, it was some other gargantuan gas station chain.
I think it was one of those gas
Wally's
station complexes. So in the Northeast, there are toll roads, which means that there aren't regular gas stations that you just take an exit to. Instead, there are these centers where there's like a gas station complex, but it's not a Buc-ee's, and I think it might be run by the state. You know, there's Wendy's and gas stations, but the complex is the state.
Yeah, I just remember there being like 100 pumps. Like it just didn't even. It was so many. Maybe in Texas, I went to one of those too. There's lots of cool fucking one-off type little travel centers in Texas though that are fun to stop at. It'll be like a barbecue restaurant, gift shop, gas station.
There used to be a truck stop in Shamrock, Texas. In the middle of the truck stop, they had like a big, I don't know, it was about the size of an above ground swimming pool. And it was a tiny little Wild West town that was populated by lizards. And they all just kind of wandered in and out of the little buildings. And it was just like this little Wild West town full of lizards. And that was the hook for the truck stop. Cool. And I thought that was great.
I was in Texas just having a meal of some sort, probably lunch, and everyone in the restaurant wore cowboy hats and cowboy boots and button-down shirts. And I'm like, how many of these people are real cowboys, and how many of them are cosplaying as wannabe cowboys?
That's pretty much what I do.
I
did grow up on a horse farm and had a horse and do know how to lasso stuff, but I hadn't done that shit in 30 years. Just trying to stay.
I was going to mention earlier, I love the hat.
Thank you very much. This hat came from the equator. There was some guy being down there. I have found a trick with the hat, though. For whatever reason, you can get away with shit wearing a cowboy hat that you cannot normally get away with.
Slurs.
It's something about like, I don't know. It's like for example, like the opposite of a cowboy hat would be like a hoodie. You know, let's say like you're trying to,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, you're like at some concert or something and you want to get backstage, or there's some event going on, you want to get like into the pits or whatever, hoodie pulled up, like you look like you're up to something. Security stops you. Like with cowboy hat on, you're just like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I see you walk, like you just walk through, and something about like the size of the hat gives you like this. You're obviously not trying to hide because you look like some asshole in a cowboy hat. So whatever you're doing, if you walk with confidence, is like you just must be doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Dale Earnhardt was taken to the hospital in Daytona after his fatal accident. Like Richard Petty comes walking into the ER supposedly and just walks like straight past the security people, like going into the back, and they're like, sir, you can't go back here. And he was like, that's okay, darling, I can go wherever I want to. And he just walked up through, like you just have to like channel your inner Richard Petty with the hat, and you can
show everybody a picture of Richard Petty. That's important, Zach.
Yeah. You don't know Richard Petty, the king of NASCAR.
I was named after his son.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not even that big of a NASCAR fan, but he's just a legendary dude. But anyway, something about the hat, just I don't know. You can just kind of get away with shit. Like people just think you're not up to something when you have a cowboy hat on.
I want to start dressing like the Colonel.
It's hilarious that every picture Zach has found so far has been like helpful to me and hurtful to you.
Yeah. We're often like we'll have like an argument about a thing, and then I'll be like, no, bears are scary, and Woody's like, nah, they're pussies, and Zach will show sick bears. And it's like, see, Woody's clearly right here.
Yeah, those aren't lies. The pictures are real.
That reminds me of like Arnold talking about his stogie and how he could smoke it wherever he wants and nobody would correct him because he was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Do you think that it would be a good look to dress like Colonel Sanders, like white suit, white hat? I don't know.
Are you going to do the hair and the facial? Are you going to do the facial hair? Like, all right, let me just say this before we get started. If you shave off like your beard, like the chops on the side, everything. You are like Colonel Sanders ready if you dye that white. Like if you just went white and then you've got the Colonel Sanders thing. If I saw you walk into I would show some respect. You had the white.
I think you should do it for Halloween.
A cane, and give me your best old Southern Colonel accent.
Yeah, you got the word boy in a lot, like Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, well, it'd have to be a little Foghorn Leghorn-ish. I'd have to ease into it before I got into all of my racist theories.
Sharper when you do those like amplifiers.
You got it.
Like well, little sharper on the. I would put hard R's.
The Colonel always uses a hard R.
Yeah,
but you got to drop the final R though. Like you got to be like, I'm gonna go down the street and get me a big old.
That's the name of my documentary.
That's the name of the. Yeah, that's if we ever get canceled, that'll be the name of the docuseries. The final R.
Final R.
The hardest R.
Supposedly, Colonel Sanders wore that white suit. He came from the railroad, and somebody told me this story that, like, he was like the guy that like shoveled the coal into from the coal car into the burner of the steam locomotive. And he was like really fast at it. And he would his flex was that he could do it so cleanly with this white suit on that he wouldn't get dirty and covered in coal. That's where he got his look that carried on into his chicken empire thing.
Now that is a tall tale. That's a Paul Bunyan level
coal
story.
Is dusty as heck.
Somebody please correct me on that. Just somebody told me that story. The other Colonel Sanders story I know.
You're right. No, you're like 99% right. He his job was on there, but he did the guy who shovels the coal. That's the good job. Colonel Sanders had to scrape the coal ash from the steam engines, which has got to be the shit to your job.
That's good motivation. That's good backstory. I thought he was always in the.
I was told a tall tale about Colonel Sanders. I've never done any research to see if it was real, but it was the whole thing about when he and his wife divorced. She kept the original KFC secret recipe and started her own little restaurant there that's in Kentucky. I've been to it. It's more of a like sit down at a dinner table and they like serve you family style place, and it is not fast food. It's closer to fine dining than fast food.
I'm sure that okay, there's no way that if it's only 11 herbs and spices that he would forget it. Like
23 is Coca-Cola, isn't it? No, that's Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
Yeah.
11 herbs and spices is the KFC way.
Yeah.
And so I would call
somebody told me their Instagram that they own, their corporate 12. Instagram only follows like 11 people named Herb or Spice.
Yeah, I saw that. They're like years ago, like someone posted a screenshot that like the KFC Twitter only followed 11 or followed the Spice Girls and like 6 guys named Herb.
Yeah, that was it. So my favorite Colonel Sanders story, old biker buddy of mine is from the same town in Kentucky where Colonel Sanders was from. And this is like years ago, 60s, back in the 60s or something. Anyway, there was this old house in town that for years had been a brothel, and supposedly everybody's granddad or whoever, either their first time, like their dad would take them down there to have their first time with a girl, or they'd save up, their friends would there and whatever. Anyway,
Avery.
A lot of men of the town all had their first time in this brothel, and the building had long since become something else, hair salon, apartments, whatever. And at some point it was going to get torn down, and they were raising money, some kind of historical society, to preserve this house. And several people donated money, and that kind of raised some eyebrows and whatnot. And they came up like $50,000 short or a big amount short. And at the last minute, Colonel Sanders came in and gave them the money to save that house. Presumably that he had also had a special moment in that house back in the day, but
Yeah. He became a wild card at the end, and the KFC Corporation had to cut him loose. He would go into the restaurants, start talking shit about how dirty they were and how bad the chicken tasted. He said he said their gravy tasted like paste glue. He'd go into like a random KFC and lose his shit. Can you imagine?
I like that. You need a passionate owner if you're going to maintain high quality chicken.
For a little while, KFC had a great ad campaign, and they would have a different colonel every commercial almost. Norm Macdonald, very good Colonel Sanders.
R.I.P. Yeah.
John Goodman did a parody of
R.I.P.
it, where he's kind of shitting on. He's like, Church's chicken hates the gays, but not here. The Colonel loves the gays. Hell, I might even be gay. He's just like completely selling out, and then he cuts aside to the camera. He's like, "Well, if I'm being honest," he drops the accent. I don't even give a shit. You're all just money mouths, eating and buying. And then it goes and goes back to the old timey music in the fun commercial. It's a really good parody.
I like that he's a real guy. Like Long John Silver, not a real guy. Captain
Silver,
not a real guy.
Captain
Chipotle,
Morgan.
not a guy.
Yeah, it's not a guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're all not guys. Mine's just a little less.
The Chick-fil-A's not real cows.
Yeah, remember Wendy from Wendy's?
Wendy was real. Wendy
was real, but then they used a hot actress to play Wendy, because I think they did a limited run with the actual Wendy. People were like, well, this reminds me I'm eating fast food. Like, you're overweight.
Oh, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah. Actual Wendy's, a buddy of mine was from Columbia, South Carolina, where Dave Thomas was from. And let's see, I'm 50. Real Wendy's, I don't know, 5 or 10 years older than I would be, because my friend was this age. According to him, growing up in school, everybody around there had these like crazy Wendy stories, because she was like, kind of crazy rich girl. She's like that girl would get drunk and show up at your house and crash her Corvette into your fountain or something. Like, she was this complete party girl, kind of train wreck, and that people had all these wild Wendy stories about real life Wendy out spending her dad's money on drugs and stuff. But
you got that square burger money burning a hole in your pocket. You didn't build the franchise, so you don't have the work ethic to maintain it. You're just partying.
I
I'd
saw
do that.
Dave Thomas testify in front of Congress. It was pretty cool. He was talking. I guess he was adopted, and he was talking about like kids of parents and divorce and whatever. And they asked him like, should kids? That's the real Wendy. I asked Zach Fuller. Anyway, he just was like, I don't know what to do about kids from separate homes because they're gonna play one dad against the mom and like fire them against each other. And it just seemed like a real moment. I like Dave Thomas.
Mm. Yeah.
I've never really been a big Wendy's guy.
No.
It's fine.
I remember when it was Dave Thomas in the commercials and the packaging was all yellow and red and they were just introducing the spicy chicken sandwich and it was like these guys are on top. They had the commercial.
I think they won the chicken.
They had a hockey commercial where the spicy chicken sandwich was like melting the hockey ice down. I think there was some hockey
chicken
player
sandwich wars. Everyone thinks Chick-fil-A won. Everybody's wrong but me. It's Wendy's.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A did win handily, easily.
I covered this already.
No. We will relitigate this for the next 49 minutes if we have to, because like it's so crazy that you think Wendy's won that. Even Wendy's doesn't think they won.
No, the fact that Chick-fil-A couldn't get canceled with all that anti-gay stuff coming out, and it wasn't like they tweeted something or said something insensitive. They like send money to those countries that make homosexuality
have a blessed
crime.
Day, homo. Like they're giving you your bag.
And gay people were like, fuck it. That's some good ass chicken.
Dude, I don't care about bigotry when it comes to food. If there was a place called Stalin's Burritos and it was the absolute best, and it's like, welcome my friends to Stalin's Burritos. To partake in these burritos, you must give us Soviet salute and deny Holodomor genocide. I'd be like, it never happened.
How's that one go?
Give me I don't actually know. Did that? It's not that one.
You're very good at accents.
What if there was like
Hitler's? You do one of these first?
I don't know. Where you hit your chest. I know that's where they pussy out in the like old shows about Rome. They'll be like, "Huh," and I'll be like, that's not where they stopped, and you shouldn't have to stop it here because they didn't even know about this Hitler guy that was coming about. There was thousands of years. But if there was Hitler's donuts, and they were the best donuts. Like, it is a good thing I dropped out of art school and pursued my true passion of train scheduling and donuts. Like, you'd go in and eat it, right? What do you have, a sweet tooth? You'd go to Hitler's Donuts.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go to Hitler's Donuts. I'm gonna be honest.
We'll go to Subway on occasion, and that guy was a pedophile.
He didn't have anything to do with the making of the sandwiches or the corporate
He told
structure.
me about the existence of the sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and that's what kept me going back.
I've never had that sandwich.
It was the only decent one. It's probably not good anymore.
Yeah. I like the meatball sub.
Yeah, I guess it's not that. No, it's pretty bad, but it's not.
I go into Subway thinking this will be a slightly healthier meal, even though I know the bread is actually not bread because it's
give me a loaf of bread and
actually order the meatball. It's like the worst thing on the menu for you. But when presented with the meatball sandwich, what are you gonna say? No.
Yeah, give me the white double cheese bread, and then just put the lowest quality meat you have in the middle of it.
I was in the airport in India, and the only place to eat was a Subway. But, with religious reasons, they don't serve the same meats that we get at this Subway here. And I'm not lying. And I've eaten some weird stuff. I mean, I've had live silkworm caterpillars and whale and dog and horses and testicles and all kind of weird shit. That whatever cold cut combo I had was the worst thing I have ever put in my mouth. Like, I'm pretty cheap. Like, I mean, to get me to waste food is hard, but like, I really just couldn't finish it. I was like, this is not, it was like, it tasted like petroleum products somehow. Like, it was, oh my God, it was awful.
Who do you think won the fast food chicken sandwich wars?
I mean, I don't know who was fighting at the time, but that one at Popeyes is pretty good.
Popeyes
was all breading.
Going on.
It's too much breading on the Popeyes one. I tried it, and it was like I was getting whole bites of breading before I was even approaching the chicken center of it.
Yeah, the first few months they've made them extra crispy. They dialed it back a little bit, but Popeyes is good. I do like Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna have to vote with Taylor on that. Like, the Wendy's one is just not there. I rolled through a town one time where a McDonald's was like the only thing to eat in the town. and I rolled through the drive-through, and I get like what seemed the least offensive thing, which was like a crispy chicken sandwich from McDonald's. And I get my drink and whatever, my fries. Of course, the fries have a half-life of like a minute, 15 seconds. So you got to eat the fries first. I'm like 5 miles from the place, and I get into the chicken sandwich, and I take a bite, and I kind of think about it for a second. I take another bite, and I'm like, I mean, it didn't taste bad, but I was like, what is this reminiscent of? And I was like, it was so bland and waxy. I was thinking like if Yankee Candle made a chicken scented candle and then you ate the candle, that's what this tastes like. Like it was just like chicken scented something on the bun, but it was not chicken. It was
that's the kind of candle that Kyle would like with his terrible candle taste. I can say
talk smack while he's gone.
Yeah. Don't tell him when he gets back.
But,